We're going to put this all together. We're going to use our dial bore gauge. We're going to mic our crank. We're going to see what our clearance is. We're shooting for 3 thousandths clearance on this particular job. The brand new crank, standard journal, should give us in and around 1.5 to 1.75 clearance. We're shooting for 3. So we're going to start with an X bearing. Bearings come standard, 10 under, 20 under, 30 under, etc. But they also come in increments of 1/1000th of an inch. So you can have an X bearing or an XX bearing, which will give you a bit more clearance, or you can have an O or an OO clearance bearing to tighten up the clearance. And you can mix and match them one size, which will give you a 1/2 thou increment difference. You can have a standard and an X, or you can have an X and a 2. You can have an X and a 2X on this side, but you can't have a 2X and a standard. That's too big of a jump. So you can really custom tailor your bearing clearance. Even though it's a dry assembly, or well, not dry, but even though it's a mock-up, we still want to put our lube on our studs before we put the nuts on it. We don't want to gall them up. And it's got to get put on anyways. So, and yeah. So one important thing I'll show you here in just a moment. We use ARP studs exclusively. We use nothing but ARP hardware on all of our bolts. Even a stock rebuild gets ARP studs and or bolts. When you are torquing your ARP studs, you have to have the ARP lube on there. And we appear to be short one ARP nut. These have to fit down inside the registry in the block. Don't use your bolt or nut and stud to pull that down. You can possibly crack your main cap or shave some material off and then they won't fit tight. Just quick square them up. Just a little tap, doesn't take much. That's all it takes. I have broken main caps so I can show you where people have tightened them down when they've been sitting up on the registry. Split them straight up. You want these pulled down even, doing them steps. I'm at 20 right now. I'll take it to 40. Take it to our final torque spec. I'll post all our torque specs and clearances and all that in the comments. So if you build an engine, you're using our video as a reference, as a guide, as a step-by-step tutorial. All the information will be there for you. You won't have to go back and forth. We'll also post the information for various options like studs, bolts, etc. Try to make it as comprehensive as, feasible. So just like with the bores, we measured every journal twice at 90 degrees. Make sure there was no water around, make sure everything was in spec. I previously did that when I inspected the parts when they came in. So now all I got to do for what we're doing now is measure our journal diameter. I know they're all the same because, like I said, I previously did it, but I just want to show you when I get to the end, though. We're just concentrating on the mains right now. Move this out of the way. So you would check it. Now we're going to take this measurement. We're going to lock our caliper, or our micrometer. And we're going to transfer that measurement onto our dial bore gauge. And zero it out. And now we're going to go in and measure our and the difference will be our bearing clearance. You measure this up and down, not sideways. So we have exactly 2.8. No, so that would be 2,008 So 2/10 short of 3. Just 2 8/10. And we're going to check every one. We're just not going to check one. Again, 2 8/10. put my engine stand on. When I put my engine on the stand, I put it in a bad spot. This is interfering with measuring, but these have to come back off anyways. Two and 8/10. 2 8/10. So we have all X's in here. We could put a half set of double X's in there that would give us 5/10 more clearance. That would bring us up to 3 2/10. I'm happy with 2 8/10. So I think we'll just leave it exactly where it's at.